Ian, we're in a dark time when it comes to our toy stores.
Yeah.
Especially the Toys R Us, the last major chain that's around from the big four that existed.
Right.
From the 70s and 80s. The founder of Toys R Us passed away right before the liquidation sales started. George Lazarus.
I was going to say Charles, but yeah, George.
Is it Charles Lazarus?
I think I'm not sure.
So isn't that just? You hope that wasn't what did him in. Charles Lazarus passes away days after Toys R Us said we're done.
Keeps making me think of the Orange Lazarus from Pete and Pete.
Okay.
Anyways,
but so they've started the clearance sales. They started at 10% off, I believe. I think it varies per store though for some reason, depending on what's on sale. But it sounds like this. Just the thought though there was some pictures on Twitter, social media about people just rushing to the stores to buy shit.
Yeah.
It was like, wow, this isn't going to be around forever, so let's appreciate what we have.
Bonnie went and checked it out, and I mean before. The shelves were just barren.
That was also because they probably haven't been stocking anything new the past few months since they announced, especially our local store was announced as one's going under before they all were going under. So in the midst of all this, there's been a couple of weird developments. KB Toys announced that they are trying to come back. Now, let's be clear here. This is one of these fucking Coleco cases. They're owned by Strategic Marks LLC, as in probably Strategic Trademarks. So it's a company that buys up zombie trademarks to repackage or try to repurpose them. Right. That's what it looks like to me when I'm looking at this. This is from the fucking press release on LinkedIn.
We're bringing back
KB Toy Stores very soon. We've received so many calls, emails, and private messages of support as we try to #save the toy industry. Due to overwhelming response, we can't commit to replying back immediately. We will get to all messages as fast as we can. Many of you have asked what our plans will be. And all we can say is we spent the last 6 months working on a sustainable model to bring back KB Toys the right way so it can compete with not only the big box stores, but online as well. Our umbrella, Strategic Marks LLC, I love that name, has been very successful bringing back many of the other popular products and companies over the last 10 years because we follow a very strict formula. They bring back the experiences we loved as a child, just as you remembered them.
That sounds creepy. A strict formula to bring back experiences you remember as a child.
We spent the last few days with our team and leaders in the toy industry to figure out how we can accelerate the project so our stores can open for the Christmas season. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
Good luck getting a chain of fucking toy stores open before Christmas.
That's insane.
From nothing. I don't understand this. We hope to find places for those 33,000 jobs which will be lost as Toys R Us closes. Please be patient with us over the next few months. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure those people are just going to sit around and wait for you to rehire them at minimum wage.
So this is what I see. I see an online store for sure. Branded KB Toys. Why not?
That's easy.
You can get that going.
Yeah.
And you can link to, you can even just be a drop ship site that you don't have to, house the stuff yourself to say, act like an Amazon for toys. I see that. Here's the point, or here's the issue, Ian. KB has been the last stores closed around what, 2007, 2006?
Was it even that?
2008?
Okay, I thought it was earlier.
Mid 2000s.
Sure,
it was mid 2000s whenever KB closed. KB even before then was not the biggest toy store since the early 80s. Then they started closing them left and right, and malls got less popular. KB stopped being like a destination probably to me in the 90s somewhere.
That's the last time I remember shopping at KB's. Was when I was actively going to the mall a lot.
Don't get me to do. They went out of business in 2009, so it actually wasn't that recent.
Oh, okay.
So I think it was more of a slow death. So they had 431 locations at the peak.
Wow.
Or at least no, that was prior to closing. I think they had like 605.
I feel like they were guaranteed to be in every mall at one point.
For my research on state events, they had more at one point than Toys R Us. They were the biggest. They're bigger than Children's Palace / Child's Place, whatever, and more than the Kitty City.
Child's World, Kitty City.
So that's Child's World. Children's Palace and Child's World, I always confuse the two. There was no Children's Palace in the Northeast. We didn't have that. Seems nice with that nice panda. There's a nice, good old panda. So you might want to... Yeah, Strategic Marks just registered for it in 2016. Toys R Us used to own They used to have it. I guess they bought out whatever stock and trademarks. That's right. I remember seeing that. They did do that at the time. Closed them out for good. So founder Elia Kassoff stated that due to Toys R Us going out of business, they plan to have pop-up stores. Oh, pop-up stores running before 2008. Oh, they're going to appear at your local swap meet and just have a KB toy store stand? A pop-up store, Ian. That's like the little ones in the mall, like the little stands that pop up. This is garbage.
Well, I mean, a pop-up store can also mean like an event store. Like, so a pop-up can also mean...
It can mean like you have a truck and you stop and like you're selling tacos.
And you... Well, a pop-up can, like, it can be larger than that, but either way, it's cheap, it's shoddy.
It will not be the KB you remember.
Well...
It will not be that.
No.
Well, they have the big clearance bins and the wire bins where I got all my Sierra games in early 90s. I love that.
What I would actually really be most interested in knowing is, will there be a circular display with yapping robot puppies that do flips right out front?
That was the best part about the mall, right?
Yeah.
You can hear and you hear like the, yep.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Oh my God, I almost forgot about that. So yeah, a pop-up store definition is it's short-term sale. So
yes.
You're like fly by night almost.
They sometimes last. I mean, they can last anywhere from a week, and they take place outside, or they could be indoors.
But you can set it up easily.
Yeah.
You can be like a 2-person operation.
Sure.
But that's what you're gonna get with your little KB toys trademark and little fucking toy soldier looking guy with the red jacket.
At least right now. Certainly.
So I'm not excited about that, Ian.
No.
As you can see, most of the 99% of the time, I'm not too excited about these zombie trademarks being taken over and try to be revived.
No, it's always a bad time.
You're going to have a bad time.
Yeah.
So the other weird news with this is the weird crowdfunding that they're trying to do to bring back Toys R Us on GoFundMe.
Mm-hmm. Explain.
So there's a group that is putting in a bid. It's GoFundMe.com/help save Toys R Us. It's a group of investors. It's from the CEO of MGA Entertainment, one of the world's leading privately held toy and entertainment companies, and creator of family favorite brands including Little Tikes. I've heard of Little Tikes actually. So they're asking for it's a meager amount. It's $1 billion. $1 billion.
Oh.
That's to put in the bid during the bankruptcy hearings in order to win the assets and trademarks and everything else, though.
Okay.
That's just to win it. They think that's what it would cost to get everything. So this is what's so confusing about it. When you click on it, they've raised $200,049,000, but the $200 million I think is from the private round, like them putting in to build it up.
Okay.
So I think when you really look at this, you're looking at, well, how many people are actually putting money? And you see $5, $20, and there's only 1,600 donations.
Right.
So there's no way in hell 1,600 donations gets to $200 million.
No.
Unless some of those are giving $100,000 or more, to get up to that point,
Sure.
or $1 million or more. And I think that's why it's not disingenuous, but when you look at it, you gotta be like, oh, okay, $200 million. That's like every man and woman in America giving $1. I'm in.
Right.
But no, that's not really what's going on here. They've had this set up before they got to this point, but now they're trying to get more people involved. So they have tiers. Like the tiers are just funny because it's like, okay, yeah, if you want to donate $50, whatever. Again, this is just to help them win it. But to their credit, they said if they don't win it, all the money goes back. So
that's okay. That's cool.
So it's not like they're taking $1 billion and running
right
with it, which would be, that would be, jail time forever.
Right.
This isn't like a game on Kickstarter where you raise $50,000 and don't have to make it. You take $1 billion.
Right.
People are coming after you at that point. Be advised, this is not a donation to a charitable cause. There's no tax deduction available. It is a donation to a potential commercial venture. The funds raised would be added to other capital being gathered by the potential purchasers of some or all of Toys R Us. A donation to this campaign does not qualify you to claim equity in any potential acquisition. It simply means you want future generations to be Toys R Us kids. All right. Here's the issue with that, Ian. They have tiers at $5, $10, $25, and $50,000.
Yeah.
I'm just going to skip the 25. What do you get at $50,000? You get the hashtag Save Toys R Us sticker, pin, magnet. I'll always be a Toys R Us Kids shirt and a block party for your friends. Oh, a block party at $50,000.
Okay.
I wonder how much hot dog rolls and potato salad costs
Yeah.
in order to get that $50,000. If I am donating 5, 10, 25,000, I want some fucking equity.
Yeah.
If this goes through, I don't
Right.
care if it's I want stock. I don't care if it's 0.0001%. I want that equity.
Right.
I think that's really kind of slimy to do that, just because when you look at the 200 million mark, the people that are putting into that, they're getting equity.
Right.
Exactly. If I'm putting millions. So if you're putting $1 million, why do you get equity? And if I'm putting 50,000, I don't get equity. What the hell is the difference? Just the size of your investment. That's how stock works. That's how investment works. So, yeah, I don't know if this is going to happen. I think there will be some bidding done for this. Toys R Us is too big not to be gone completely. I just don't know how it's going to come back.
Right.
I think that's what remains to be seen. And just to piggyback off that, this was from somebody I don't know the name. As I didn't have a Toys R Us available to me, this is from Twitter. As I didn't have a Toys R Us available to me until I was in high school, what was it like to have access to one as a kid? Did it influence any gaming choices in your life, as it did Game Over Greggy?
Me?
Yeah.
That's the thing. This whole Toys R Us thing is, I can't get nearly as choked up as everyone else has about it because I didn't do a ton of shopping at Toys R Us. I do have fond memories of Toys R Us when I was a kid. It was where I bought the first video game I bought with my own money, which was Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. That's where I went to go do it.
Mine was that Crazy Eddie.
I very much remember, grabbing the slip and doing that. And, I have those memories. I remember browsing. I remember how awesome, the one that I went to when I was a kid, all the board games were on one big side of the wall. And then the setup was down the center was the clear case with all the video game systems on display. And then on the other side of that was all the little hanging, video game things, so you could flip them up and look at them. So
mine was a different aisle, by the way.
Uh-huh.
Mine was a different aisle entirely for software versus hardware.
So yeah, it was like software, hardware, and then board games. So it was awesome, and I remember that clearly, and I liked it. But I don't have a lot of memories of going to Toys R Us like as a teenager and young adult because I went to the mall very often. I actually have a lot more stored up here about KB Toys, actually.
So that was more your toy store.
I mean, yeah, when I was growing up, I would stop into KB Toys regularly, whereas Toys R Us, I remember more from being a kid. And yeah, I liked it, but it wasn't a huge part of my life.
Okay, it was a huge part of mine. I
Right.
mean, that's not where I bought all my toys because we would go to Kmart when it was like the G.I. Joes were on sale for like buy one, get one free like twice a year. That's when I can get G.I. Joes or Bradley's or Caldor.
Sure.
The smaller big box stores, you can call them, or smaller, whatever, department stores. I guess smaller big box stores before they all went out of business by like the mid-90s. They were mostly all gone.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I love Caldor, by the way. Just looked like straight out of 71 how it was built and looked. I don't know if you had a Caldor. We had Caldor, Bradley's, and Kmart all within like 5 minutes of each other. We didn't have any Targets or Walmarts. So they came from the Midwest, so they took a while for them to come out.
We had like a Hills and AM and A's.
AM and A's?
AM and A's, yeah.
So how did it influence gaming choices? Well, obviously, that's how you found out about some stuff.
Oh, right. Yeah, but I don't think it influenced a ton. I mean, I think those little Nintendo posters that came with games probably influenced my choices more.
Or Nintendo Power.
Yeah, exactly.
Or Game Pro if you had it, or whatever magazine from the Electronic Gaming Monthly.
I mean, I guess my parents were smart enough to not take me in there just to browse. So
couldn't.
Yeah, so it's not like I was ever in there for a long period of time, doing a whole lot of comparing.
No.
I would always, my mom would always, begrudgingly or my dad would be like, yeah, fine, go check out the video games if we were in there to pick up a birthday present or something like that. But, yeah, I was never in there really without a purpose, so I can't say that it affected much in the way of how I shopped for games.
Yeah, I think I always knew what I wanted before I went in, for, at least
Exactly.
for a video game.
Yes.
And then I was always disappointed when there was no tickets.
Yep.
And this is why I'm in love with Kitty City, because when I went to Kitty City, you could see the games
Yes.
and say, give me that game, woman behind the counter. Like, you can just say, give me Top Secret episode.
Yeah.
Give me Contra.
You
give
couldn't
me,
be
give me
teased by
Zelda.
something that wasn't in
Yes.
stock. It either
Yes.
wasn't there, it was out of sight,
I
out of
can't
mind.
explain the difference of how much better it is to be given the game and trusted with it to go to the cash register. That feeling versus, here, take a fucking ticket, you asshole.
I mean, the paper ticket is something we all remember, but it wasn't ideal. It was, because either you'd see the slab first, the plastic thing, and you'd be like, yes, and then there'd be no tickets.
There'd be no ticket.
And they'd legitimately be sold out. Or you'd get that.
Or your asshole friend named Kevin would take the tickets.
Or your asshole friend Kevin would take all the
tickets.
Which
he did, by the way. He would take a ticket for games and hold on to it.
Yeah, exactly. Or some shithead kid would grab all the tickets and throw them into the Barbie aisle.
Well, that I've never seen. You had some assholes kids in Buffalo doing that.
And, for a minute, you might hold out a faint hope against hope that you could go up there and be like, do you actually have a copy back there?
I was too shy to do that.
And then you would get stabbed.
Not just for that. They also had all the hot toys, like Cabbage Patch Kids were in there. I think the bikes were in there, or some like the radio control cars, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Train sets and things.
Yeah.
Whatever they have behind the glass. And usually they'd have like the more expensive stuff.
The liquor.
The liquor at Toys R Us?
The blunt wraps, are behind the
Jeffrey
cage.
Jeffrey Giraffe rum.
Yeah.
Is that what they had? Spotted rum. So no, it didn't really influence the choices, but it definitely, obviously, we didn't talk about the personal feelings as much last time we spoke about it, but no, it is kind of sad. But these stores in general are going out of business. It's just what it is. I mean, malls are dying. These big box stores, unless you're Target or Walmart and you have the huge size and volume to buy in such a gigantic level to get the savings, it's tough. And that's why people are saying they're going to Toys R Us and getting 10% off, and the prices are still not as good as like Amazon or Walmart. So blame the consumer partially too, and also blame the private equity firms that dumping all their debt when they bought Toys R Us back in whatever it was, 2005 or 6, not being able to climb out. But that's what happens when you go, you go public or you sell. Charles Lazarus, I'm sorry. You probably didn't make the decision yourself. I know the history, but you probably wouldn't want to sell I can't imagine that your lifelong business and it just fucking dies and then you do.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad.
Death of a broken heart.
Hopefully they kept all the news from him, like they took away his phone and TV. No, nothing's Granddad, nothing's going on.
Yeah.
Toys R Us is going to live forever. Oh God, it's depressing.